Hello everyone. Welcome to another session on the path to clear your CDCS exam. I am covering the chapter wise contents explained in the CDCS self study material. Let's start. Chapter 3. This covers the documentary credits and other methods of settlement. We will see the basic flow of documentary credits. Then we will see the flow of other settlement methods like advance payment, open account, collections, and the usage of guarantees to secure payments. What is the definition? Credit means any arrangement, however named or described, that is irrevocable and thereby constitutes a definite undertaking of the issuing bank to honor a complying presentation. There are two things in the definition to be noted, however named or described. This means letter of credit or documentary credit or credit, and also standby credit and even bank guarantee. They are all are included and can be issued using UCP 600. Second, irrevocable undertaking means payment made by the issuing bank to the beneficiary. Specifically in LC, we say as honor, where the complying documents stipulated in the LC are presented to them. Again, this means issuing bank cannot deny its payment in any condition like defective goods or no balance in applicant's account or applicant has any issues, provided the beneficiary presents complying presentation. Complying means the shipping documents should satisfy the conditions of the LC, UCP, ISBP or any standard banking practice, Incoterms, etc. and also presented within the stipulated timeline. Mostly banks will issue the letter of credit, but it can be issued by non-bank issuer also. It includes individuals as well, provided the beneficiary is ready to accept it. If beneficiary is accepting those issuers LC, then the beneficiary should be aware of the risk associated in it, like the availability of foreign exchange, political risk, and the creditworthiness of the issuer. Now let's see how a trade is getting initiated using letter of credit as a method of payment. I will explain the basic flow of a trade using LC. This is an important cycle for a person who is new to trade. So please understand the cycle so it will be easy for you to move further into the material. We have the applicant, that is the buyer of the goods or the paying person for purchase of goods. Then we have the beneficiary or the seller of the goods and the payment receiving person for selling his goods. Third, we have the issuing bank, which issues the LC on request of the applicant. And fourth, we have an advising bank which advises the credit to the beneficiary. Step 1. The seller and buyer establishes purchase or sale contract or pro forma invoice, and this will have high level of details which leads to many larger components like payment method, shipping method, insurance responsibilities, etc. Especially to the goods details with unit price and quantity purchase and any lot, etc. Step 2 will be the applicant applies to its bank for the issuance of a documentary credit, usually by completing the bank's standard application form. Step 3 will be issuing bank issues the LC as per the LC application. There will be a separate credit arrangement between the buyer and the issuing bank, based on which the issuing bank will issue the letter of credit. For example, any non-fund based loan facility or cash or fixed deposit securities blocked for that credit line as a security for the bank, for the issuing bank. Step 4 will be issuing bank issues LC to beneficiary using the service of another bank called advising bank. This advising bank will mostly be in exporter country or many times the exporter's bank itself. Step 5, beneficiary goes through the condition and satisfies himself that he can produce the documents and meet the LC conditions in stipulated time period, and also it reflects the previously agreed contract conditions are available in it. Step 6 is, after shipping the goods, beneficiary presents all the shipping documents to advising bank complying with all the LC conditions and also satisfying the UCP requirements. Step 7 is, because the advising bank has not added its confirmation to the credit, or it may or may not examine the documents prior to sending them to the issuing bank, it is also under no obligation to honor or negotiate the beneficiary's document. In this case, we will assume that advising bank has not examined the documents, so it will be forwarding the documents to the issuing bank without checking. This acting on nomination and confirming bank we will see in later slides or later chapters. So step 8 will be, issuing bank will examine the documents and if found clean, they will make payment to beneficiary through the advising bank. Then simultaneously they will deliver the documents to applicant after getting the money or after debiting the money from the applicant with applicable charges. And step 9 will be, the advising bank upon receipt of the proceeds from the issuing bank effects the settlement to the beneficiary as per their previous instruction. So this is the full crux or full flow of the documentary credit with a basic requirement. So there will be additional involvement of nominated bank, confirming bank or reimbursing bank as well, that we will see in the later stages. We will move on to the next payment method. So this will talk about the basic flow of other settlement methods, and first we will start with advance payment. In this method, buyer first makes the payment and then the shipper ships the goods. So who has more risk in it? Buyer has the highest risk, where no surety that seller will ship goods after receiving the payment, and seller has the least risk in this method. The steps involved are, first step, as usual the contract is agreed and in the contract they agree for the advance payment method. And step 2, the buyer instructs such banks to first make the payment to the seller's account. The account number, the specific bank details will be shared. Then step 3, the banker of the buyer makes payment to the seller's bank as requested or as instructed. Then step 4 will be, the banker of the seller credits the amount to the beneficiary's account already given, and also there will be advice sent to the applicant's bank, that or applicant's bank or buyer's bank, that payment has made. Then after all these things, as a last step, that is step 5, the seller ships the goods and sends the shipping documents to the applicant directly. So we can see the risk involved in it. So why traders agree to this type of method? So the reasons could be, due to buyer's country risk, the seller may be unwilling to ship goods to the country without prior receipt of payment, or buyer's appetite to procure and market the imported goods due to high demand of the product, or to retain seller's relationship and also to gain seller's trust for a longer trade terms. Next could be seller may require funds in advance to manufacture or to prepare goods for shipment, like as a pre-shipment finance arranged from the buyer. And also where buyer is satisfied with the seller's credibility and also taken calculated risk on other problem areas. Here in this payment method, cost involved is very low and the documentation and the cycle time involved to complete the trade is less. So we'll move to the next slide, which talks about the open account. Here the seller takes the highest risk and ships the goods first. Buyer, after receiving the goods, will make the payment. If you see, this will be opposite to the advance payment method. Here the risk will be lowest to the buyer. So we'll see the steps involved. As usual, step 1, the contract is entered, specifying the open account as the settlement method. Second, seller directly ships the goods and prepare the shipping documents and forwards the documents to the buyer. Buyer, after seeing the documents or after inspecting the goods, then it will ask their banks to make the payment. And step 4 is buyer's bank pays to the seller's bank after receiving the instruction from buyer. Then the seller bank receives the payment and it credits the seller's account. In this method, the shipment time and payment followed by shipment will be agreed in the contract, and both parties will try to adhere to the timelines along with the banks. It is the same for advance payment as well. There also the cost, the timelines, everything will be already agreed. Where this type of method will be used is where there is trust already built to avoid high cost in following other methods like collections or LCs. This method will be used. And seller agrees to move from their letter of credit method to open account to sometimes secure the contracts from the buyer. They can attract more buyers for their goods in this method because of the convenience they are giving to the buyers. Seller has no security of payment but only rely on creditworthiness and trust built on the buyer. And other significance could be this is very attractive to buyer as he has more control over the goods, and also very simple method and has less bank fee and other costs involved as discussed already. Banks have very minimal role here where it just forwards the payment. It will just act like a agent. It never takes any undertaking in these methods, both in advance payment as well as in the open account. So we'll move on to the next slide, which talks about documentary collections. Here there are two popular methods. First one is documentary collections payable on a site basis, and the second is documentary collection payable on a usance basis. Usance means 10-hour payment, agreeing to a payment on a later date. So documentary collection payable on a site. This has a reduced risk for both the buyer and seller. The buyer need not pay until it has reviewed the shipping documents in a bank's counter, which will be known as the collecting bank. The seller, known as the principal, has little protection that the shipping documents will only be given to the buyer after the bill is paid. However, there is no guarantee for the payment since no bank is giving its undertaking, and also it is applicant's or buyer's choice to make the payment. So we will see the steps involved in this. And step 1 will be again the contract, mentioning collection payable at a site basis as a method of settlement. Second, the principal or the seller arranges shipment of the goods according to the terms already agreed, and it forwards the shipping documents to its bank called as a remitting bank, which will remit the documents. The remitting bank, as a third step, sends the documents to the bank, that is bank of the buyer, which is called collecting bank. So this bank will collect the documents from the remitting bank, and there will be remitting instructions also given in it for the payments and other charges and all. So step 4 will be the collecting bank makes the documents available for the review of the applicant at its counter, so that the applicant or the buyer may take decision instructing its bank to make payment once it is satisfied. Then step 5 is the collecting bank remits the proceeds to the remitting bank and releases the shipping documents to the buyer, so that the goods may be collected or taken delivery by the buyer. Then step 6, once the remitting bank receives the payment, it will credit the amount to the account of the seller, and it will advise the buyer's bank. So we will see the next sub method in documentary collection, which is use-on's documentary collections. Documentary collections payable on a tenor basis. This also behaves the same way as a collection at site basis, additionally with an involvement of a draft and agreed for the payment at a later date. So this also has a reduced risk for both the buyer and seller due to the bank's involvement of holding the documents. The buyer need not agree to pay at a later date until it has reviewed the shipping documents at the collecting bank counters. So this is a good thing for the buyer, which is available in documentary collections on site basis as well. Then for the principal has little protection that the shipping documents will only be given to the buyer after the draft is accepted for payment at a later date. Like in the documentary collection at site basis, the documents will be given only to the buyer after making the payment. So here documents will be given once the buyer accepts the draft. So that is the main different thing in this two method of payments. However, there is no guarantee of payment in this method as well, since the buyer may agree to pay at a later stage and get the documents from the collecting bank and take the goods delivery, while at the maturity date they may not make the payment, which is riskier than the collection at site basis method of payment for the seller. So let's see the steps involved in it. Step 1 will be again contract agreement with documentary collection payable at maturity date as a method of settlement. Then step 2, the principal arranges the shipment of goods and also prepares the shipping documents. Along with the draft, it presents the documents to the remitting bank. Then next step 3 is remitting bank sends the documents to the buyer's bank, known as the collecting bank. It receives the collecting bank receives the remitting instruction as well along with it. So the collecting bank makes the documents available for review of the buyer in its counter itself, so that the buyer make decision to accept the draft and to make payment at a maturity date. So next step 5, the collecting bank informs the remitting bank about the acceptance and releases the documents to the buyer. And the next step is step 6. The collecting bank can retain the accepted draft, in which event an advice of acceptance is sent to the remitting bank, or the draft can be returned to the seller via remitting bank for presentation just prior to the maturity date. So the seller will receive the accepted draft for representation near to the maturity date, or just an advice of acceptance. So at maturity, the payment is made to the beneficiary by collecting bank using the remitting bank's involvement. So the main points to be noted in the documentary collection in both site and usance is, this solution offers the seller less security than a documentary credit, but as a consequence the cost is also lower. Then seller has little security for payment, since the documents will be released by a bank only after obtaining payment at site collection or obtaining an acceptance in usance collection method. For more control, the transport document shall be a negotiable bill of lading, wherein buyer needs the originals of bill of lading endorsed on them to take delivery of goods, and or the goods consigned to the bank in the importing country with the consent of that bank. So only the bank can release the transport documents in favoring the buyer to take the delivery of the goods. So in both cases, buyer has to pay or undertake maturity payment to take delivery of goods. The next point will be, seller can also discount the accepted drafts for any immediate payment. So in case of drafts involved in it, they can take a credit arrangement using the draft. Now we will be ending this chapter with the below subtopic, securing payments using bank guarantee or standby letter of credit. This slide or this chapter also serves as a little introduction to guarantees. So how payment can be secured using a guarantee. In case of open account or documentary collections, seller has more risk associated than the buyer. In order to secure its payments, seller asks the buyer to provide a bank guarantee, or we can say ISP. So here both will be considered as just a bank guarantee. In later stage we will see the differences or the guidelines which is covering these two method of payments or the securing payments. To secure the payment, bank guarantees can be used. That is, if buyer fails to make payment, seller will utilize this guarantee and get payment from the bank issued the bank guarantee due to buyer's non-performance. Thus, the steps involved here are, again, the contract agreed indicating the open account as a payment method or a documentary collection as a method of settlement. Here additionally, the contract will be supported by a bank guarantee. So the buyer has to request his banker to issue the bank guarantee. The next step, banker, after reviewing all the things, it will back his assets with the security already held with the bank or any credit line, or having any deposit blocked to back up the bank guarantee, and issues the guarantee favoring the seller. It uses the seller's banker as the advising bank. So in the next step, the step 4, advising bank or the seller's bank issues its advice of the guarantee to the beneficiary. Then step 5 will be, after checking the terms and conditions of the guarantee, once it is satisfied with it, the seller will make the shipment and prepares the shipping documents directly to the buyer in case of open account, or use the remitting bank, collecting bank way in documentary collection method. Then step 6 will be, if the open account open account transaction is used or a documentary collection is honored, the guarantee is not utilized. If there is a payment default, then the seller issues a demand, or we call it as a guarantee invocation in accordance with the requirements of the guarantee through the advising bank. Nothing but, if the non-payment situation arises, then the seller chooses the option of invoking the guarantee. That is, it will claim the payment from the issuer of the guarantee, saying that buyer as a default, so you make the payment. So step 7 will be, the advising bank forwards the demand to the issuer of the guarantee. The next step 8, issuing bank checks the demand and identify whether the demand is as per the issuance of the guarantee. So once satisfied, so it debits the applicant account or uses the blocked security and makes the payment to the beneficiary using the advising bank. So last step will be the advising bank, after receiving the payment, it credits the seller's account. So if you notice, there is an underlying risk for the buyer here because due to an unjustified claim being made under the guarantee or standby letter of credit. So though it never happens until the trade relationship is in good manner. So here we come to the end of the chapter. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe our channel for chapter wise classes to clear your series exam.